Oh, Dr. Harry, thank you so much for calling me back.
Not at all, Mrs. Hattersley. Tina said it was urgent. What can I do to help?
Oh, well, I wonder if you wouldn't mind letting me have some of your respiratory masks.
I'm afraid...
Well, it's not for myself. I wouldn't ask if it was just for me. It's for a very dear friend of mine.
And who might that be?
Tiddles.
Tiddles? You mean your cat?
Yes, I saw on the news this morning that cats can catch the Croonervirus. I couldn't bear to think of poor dear Tiddles catching it. He's never liked crooners.
Mrs. Hattersley?
Not like Mrs. Prolapse's poodle.
Mrs. Hattersley, we really don't have enough personal protection to go round all the humans. Never mind people's pets. I don't even have enough for myself.
Well, then I wonder if you'd mind writing me a prescription for some.
You can't get masks on prescription.
Oh, dear. But what am I to do?
You could try keeping Tiddles indoors.
No. You don't know what you're saying, Dr. Harry. Tiddles, normally the most even-tempered of felines, can become quite irascible if deprived of his customary perambulations. I've known him to turn quite nasty.
Well, I'm afraid it's really not my problem.
Oh, but Dr. Harry...
I'm sorry, Mrs. Hattersley, but I've told you before I don't deal with cats.
But Dr...
Stupid woman.
It's Mrs. Hattersley again, Dr. Harry.
Well, can't you tell her I'm out?
She says it's very urgent.
She always says it's urgent.
Well, she says this time it really is.
Oh, bloody hell. All right, put her through.
Dr. Harry.
Mrs. Hattersley, what can I do for you this time?
Can you tell me whether I'm on the list?
The list?
Yes, you know, the high-risk list. The list of people who are at very high risk from the Croonervirus. Am I on it?
Well, I shouldn't think so, no.
No? Why ever not?
Because there's nothing particular the matter with you, Mrs. Hattersley.
But I'm an old lady.
Lots of my patients are old ladies. In order to qualify for the list, you have to have a history of significant medical problems. Heart problems, for example.
Well, what about that time my heart stopped completely because you prescribed me the wrong medication?
Oh, well, there's no need to bring that up again. We went all through that at the time.
Oh, well, of course, I don't think about it very often these days. Only in times of stress, such as when I discover that I'm not on a very important list.
But there's really nothing I can do. The list isn't compiled by me, it's compiled by the Department of Health.
But couldn't you have a word with them?
They don't take any notice of the likes of me. What do you want to be on the list for anyway? It means being cooped up indoors for 12 weeks.
But it also means getting home deliverers from the local delicatessen. They only deliver to people who are on the list.
Oh, I see.
And they're also reserving their smoked salmon and chicken liver pâté for people who are on the list.
Right.
And I've just found out that Mrs. Prolapse is on the list.
Aha.
That woman's an absolute fraud. She pretends to be some kind of invalid, but she can run like a gazelle if she spots a bottle of dry sherry on the horizon.
Well, I'm afraid I really can't help you, Mrs. Hattersley.
Very well. I shall simply have to send a personal letter to Jorrocks.
Jorrocks?
Yes, Jorrocks Bonkinson.
You mean the Prime Minister?
Oh, yes. My cousin went to school with his father, you know. I dare say dear Jorrocks will be only too happy to pop me onto the list.
Dr. Harry! Mrs. Hattersley, what are you doing here? How did you get in? Don't tell me the girls let you in.
No, I climbed in through the window.
You climbed in through that window?
I didn't think you'd mind.
Good grief.
Especially as I've come to offer you some help.
Mrs. Hattersley, I'm really terribly busy.
You mentioned the other day that you're short of personal protection.
Oh, well, yes, that's true. Don't tell me you managed to get your hands on some.
Well, in a manner of speaking, yes.
In a manner of speaking?
Yes. I've started making my own.
What's that?
It's a face mask. I made it myself.
Out of what?
One of my old bed socks.
What's that smell?
Liniment.
What? Haven't you washed it?
Well, no, I was going to, but then I remembered that the liniment I rub on my feet for my fungal infection has antibacterial properties. How many would you like?
None at all.
I've got lots. I've also made some from the cups of my old bras. Those ones smell of nipple balm.
Oh, my God!
Yes, it is almost miraculous. Mrs. Prolapse is making gowns and trousers from her old night dresses and bloomers, and we have a number of other friends who are...
I'm sorry, Mrs. Hattersley, but I really must get on.
I have a see-through nightie that might do for some protective eyewear.
No, thank you, Mrs. Hattersley.
The Reverend Peabody is using communion wafers.
No, thank you, Mrs. Hattersley.
Well, really? I shall take my offer of help elsewhere.